You might look at Brianna and Brittany Winner and see a pair of twins going about their day, but you wouldn't know the extraordinary accomplishments they've achieved and the extraordinary challenges they face.
So Brianna and I as children were very similar, but also very different.
We always describe ourselves as complementary opposites.
I was really into art and she was really into singing.
And then you were very shy.
I barely spoke and I was a tomboy. I wore all black and green.
And I was a girly girl. I was always all pink all the time. And I was a social butterfly.
I'll tell you, even though we had those differences, the fundamentals of our twinship were always in creating and coming up with new ideas. So we started creating different science fiction ideas for worlds, and basically verbally writing from the age of 3 on.
The twins have had their share of deeply unfortunate setbacks and obstacles. However, these experiences have led them to an incredible epiphany.
So I am legally blind and hard of hearing, and my identical twin, my genetic identical, is not.
Surprisingly.
Our learning disabilities are also opposite. Mine affect my reading, handwriting, and processing of information, specifically with letters and spelling.
I have ADD, and I didn't know this until after I wrote the book. All of my teachers, everyone just told me that I had my head in the clouds, and if I just tried a little harder to focus. And for many years, I thought of my ADD as just something to overcome. It's not something to be even necessarily proud of, to share, nothing. But as I've gotten older, I realized that having ADD is actually a gift. My imagination, the way I see the world, is formed by that. And I couldn't write my books if I didn't have it.
While dealing with these setbacks, Brittany and Brianna would soon find out that, ironically, reading and writing would become more than a childhood interest, as their passion soon became a path for navigating past their learning and attention issues.
Our passion for storytelling was the first thing we really knew that we loved.
We ended up suffering from self-esteem issues growing up from our learning disabilities.
We were bullied a lot.
And the way that we turned it around was really interesting. We actually went to our dad and said, "Dad, we're stupid.
We're not going to be able to do anything." We really believed it. And our dad said that's not true. And he recognized that Britt and I just love storytelling more than anything. We did not like to read because, of course, our dyslexia made it difficult. So our dad had this idea of getting us intrigued and interested in reading by introducing us to comic books. And we fell in love with them. We loved the pictures, the colors, the stories, and we were able to understand what was going on, and it made us want to read. So he tricked us into it, and it worked like a charm. And that's what really got us interested in storytelling to begin with. So we decided we wanted to be superheroes.
And that inspired our first novel, which is about someone who actually doesn't have superpowers but is a superhero. And that is the book that ultimately started our careers.
Yep.
So for us, like this, our proudest moment was physically holding this book in our hands.
Yep.
Because when we had it, it showed us we did something. It's a real novel.
Going through the unique experiences of children with disabilities revealed to them the lack of adequate resources in the school systems, leading to their vision of how to make a difference for younger students.
We are very blessed to have wonderful parents who believed in us and fought for us to be able to have access to tools to make our lives easier when we were in school. We had some really great teachers that helped us, and we realized that not everyone has that, which is one of the reasons we opened our first nonprofit, Motivate to Learn, where we wanted to educate and advocate for other kids with learning disabilities, so no one had to feel alone. Our nonprofit, Motivate to Learn, we opened when we were 14 years old with our first check we got from our first book sales. So we went out there and we went school to school, and we talked about having dyslexia and learning disability, and we talked about writing and promoted literacy, and we donated technology to the resource departments, and we were in front of over 150,000 students live.
We came to schools that needed us, and we still do. If a school needed an air conditioning unit,
We bought the air conditioning.
we bought the air conditioning unit. If there are students that needed shoes, we would buy the shoes.
The twins have their sights set on continuing their passions as well as tackling new goals.
We are going to continue to be writing with our incredible writing partner, Todd McCaffrey, on our Twin Souls series, which is steampunk.
and continue in the Pan's Children's series with the Magpies War and next the Doves Game. And we have expanded into comics, and it was just recently released that we did the comic for the song I Love Rock and Roll
Inspired by the song I Love Rock and Roll by Joan Jett.
in a graphic novel anthology of the same name.
So it's a lot.
Called
I Love Rock and Roll.
Because, well, we also love rock and roll.
In March 2022, we're going to be launching our new nonprofit called suddendarkness.org.
It's going to be a website that'll be a resource for people who, or their families, or anyone who wants to help people who have had sudden or, rapid vision loss. It is a real myth that dyslexia or any type of learning disability or neurodivergence stops you from doing anything. The uniqueness of vision, imagination, experience, that all made us the writers we are today.
For a world of difference,
I'm Basia Rikpo.